Chosen one. Your attention is needed now. It's no coincidence that you're here listening to these words. This moment has been carefully orchestrated, for God has a message just for you. A particular person likely sprang to mind when you clicked this video. This is not your imagination. It's a sacred alert. It's important that you heed this message seriously. Your choices in this very period could shape your destiny. Keep your spirit fully engaged, as this message holds significance beyond mere emotion. It holds eternal meaning. God urges you to look deeper, beyond love, struggle, and disappointment. This is about your purpose, your alignment, and your future. Know this: the adversary fears the power of your endurance. This message has reached you because time is of the essence. Before we delve deeper, take a thoughtful action if you feel this resonates with you. Although simple, this act affirms your agreement with this divine message. If not yet connected with Chosen by God, consider subscribing so you receive these insightful words intended for you. Sharing the numeral 99 in the comments is symbolic. The number 99 stands for one who nearly gave up, the one the shepherd rescues. Expressing it signifies, I am found and will safeguard what God has entrusted me with. Continue with me until the end, as what follows may change how you perceive this person and understand God's presence in your life. The pivotal warning starts now. Chosen one, there's something many overlook that you need to know. God doesn't arrange meaningless encounters. Meeting that person wasn't by chance. It was significant. A divine encounter predestined. Recall the first time your paths crossed. Maybe it was a conversation that naturally resonated, or a glance that seemed to go beyond words, or a silent prompt urging your attention. That moment marked a significant connection that may become a challenge, not due to a lack of meaning, but because of its profound purpose. Some interactions drift away without impact, but others persist and leave a deep imprint on your soul. This person isn't just a random figure on your journey. They are entwined with your mission. Their role in your life is meant to shape, challenge, and propel you toward the destiny God planned for you. That is why the relationship feels so distinctive, so significant, even withstanding trials designed to divide it. Because this connection is based not on your own intentions, but on divine direction. Understand this well. This is not about romantic fantasies. This is about divine purpose. God does not bring His chosen ones to others without a reason. There are times when someone before you possesses the key to doors you cannot unlock on your own. There are moments when they're like a mirror, revealing parts of your soul you've avoided, yet must face to grow. Sometimes they walk alongside you during storms, so the promise within you isn't lost in solitude. Each detail is meaningful. Every conversation, challenge, and reconciliation contributes to a greater plan beyond simple emotions. And there's a secret in this. The enemy sees the plan, even if you do not. He understands the power of unity under a divine command. That's why attacks intensify and doubts grow. The harder the enemy attacks, the clearer the significance of the connection. He ignores what doesn't hold real value. Chosen one, keep this truth close to your heart. When God writes a story, the enemy counters it vehemently. This explains the resistance you encounter. This is why you've wondered, why does this hurt if it's of God? It hurts because it matters. It's weighty because it's sacred. If this bond lacked eternal significance, it would dissolve without struggle. The fact that you remain connected, unable to sever ties despite every storm, stands as evidence of divine purpose. Do you perceive it now? That initial encounter was the beginning, not just of a relationship, but of an assignment. Heaven invested something within you both that remains a mystery. The enemy will do anything to eradicate it before realization dawns. That is your reason to persist. But not blindly, rather with discernment, prayer, and an unwavering belief that chaos cannot undo God's design. Feel this profoundly. You are upon sacred ground. This connection was no mistake. It was divinely ordained. Once you comprehend this, the battles you face will all make sense. Here's a question intended to linger within you until we speak again. If God took the effort to unite your lives, should you treat it as ordinary? Will you recognize it for the battlefield that it is, which the enemy fears you will conquer? The chosen one, you must understand the true battle you face. This isn't about disagreements or misunderstandings. It isn't merely personality conflicts or resurfacing wounds. Your struggle runs deeper and more insidious than it appears. Scriptures clarify, we fight not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, powers, and darkness. The tension, discouragement, and doubts you feel don't start with the person before you. The enemy cunningly sows seeds of defeat, hoping you'll relinquish a union you barely comprehend. His tactics are subtle, not flashy. He whispers. He exaggerates minor issues into overwhelming problems. He turns one disagreement into a narrative saying, "This will never succeed." He disguises past hurts as current realities, leading you to believe that history must repeat itself. His strategy isn't aggressive, but corrosive. He doesn't need to strike a decisive blow. He only needs to weaken your faith bit by bit until you willfully give up on what God has unified. Herein lies the threat. If you give in now, you are not merely leaving a person. You are abandoning a divine mission. This connection goes beyond companionship. It has a kingdom's purpose. There are battles you're not meant to tackle alone, and missions that you need assistance to fulfill. Heaven intertwined you with this person for explicit reasons. If you leave now, you not only walk away from them, but also from the divine purpose tied to your unity. The enemy understands this. That is why he is unyielding. He realizes that your unity will produce fruit that frightens him. But if you depart, he triumphs effortlessly. Continue reflect on how many times you've pondered giving up, but felt an inner longing, a call to continue. That longing is your spirit, realizing this battle isn't merely emotional, but tied to destiny. Every fiber of your being senses the struggle is beyond just the two of you. The enemy's fight isn't with your relationship, but the potential ripple effect if it perseveres. When two chosen individuals remain united in faith, they become a formidable force against darkness. They break negative cycles, heal family lines, and unlock blessings not only for themselves, but for the future generations. That's why the enemy is so eager to break you apart before either of you truly understands your collective power. Chosen one, consider deeply. Is the urging to depart truly from God, or from one who fears your unity? God's voice isn't one of fear. He doesn't encourage hopelessness or lead through despair. The shepherd's guidance brings peace even within correction, direction amidst confusion, and clarity amid silence. If the only voice you hear encourages abandoning ship, examine whose voice you're heeding. The enemy mimics reason, emotion, and presents defeat as wisdom. But deep within, your spirit knows what is true. Don't be misled. The tempest around you is not proof of this connection's frailty, but of its strength. If it held no spiritual weight, the adversary would leave it alone. He doesn't expend energy combating what doesn't threaten him. Your siege is the signature of your connection's power in the spiritual realm. If you relinquish it now, you concede not only your relationship, but also the divine assignment attached to it. Here lies the urgent plea. You must not surrender. Not now, when the stakes are immense. Your perseverance transcends mere love. It embodies obedience to the one who purposefully brought this person into your life. Should you leave too soon, you'll never witness the potential unlocked had you remained steadfast. If you endure, a day will come when you'll look back and see each battle as a stepping stone towards your breakthrough. Pause to absorb this truth. The intensity of your trials isn't a call to surrender, but a testament to approaching victory. The opposition is fierce because the purpose is profound. Reflect deeply on this as we move forward. Whose guidance do you truly follow? The God who orchestrated your future, or the adversary who dreads it? Chosen one, hear this with the entirety of your being. The weight you now carry, the daunting conflict, the echoing silence, and the sharp pain are not signals of failure, but of purpose. Before every divine breakthrough, battles amplify. Your struggle is not unique, but a pattern found throughout sacred scripture. Consider Joseph, who received dreams directly from God, visions of authority, leadership, and elevation. Yet, before these dreams materialized, betrayal by his brothers, enslavement, false accusations, and imprisonment became his daily reality. Years passed in captivity, obscuring the potential of God's promise. What Joseph failed to see in his darkest cell was that imprisonment was merely the final step before his rise to power. Each test day prepared him for the leadership role waiting for him. His trials weren't evidence of God's abandonment, but of his profound divine purpose that required resistance to be realized. Consider David, anointed as king, while living as a mere shepherd. Yet, instead of directly ascending the throne, he eluded death at Saul's hands, hiding in caves, living the life of a fugitive. Imagine the torment of understanding his divine selection for greatness, yet residing in darkness. But these caves served not as punishment, but as training grounds, places where David learned to worship in shadows, strategize for battle, and rely solely on God, teachings a throne could never provide. His concealment wasn't punishment, but preparation. Look also at Job, righteous in God's eyes, yet stripped of everything: his family, wealth, health, and dignity. His friends ridiculed him. His wife urged him to curse God. Amidst this suffering, Job asked the questions you may now ask. Why me? Why this trial? Why the silence when I need God most? But Job's story ends with revelation. His blessings doubled, his testimony strengthening faith across generations. Job's sufferings weren't without cause but became proof of faith forged through fire. Detect the pattern. For Joseph, imprisonment. For David, isolation. For Job, calamity. Each was the precursor to divine ascension. Now reflect on your own journey. The relational tension, the silence sowing doubt, the pain tempting surrender. These trials aren't accidental, but the fire's essential for refinement. They confirm you're carrying something crucial that adversarial forces desperately seek to suppress. The adversary doesn't misallocate efforts on futile purposes. He targets what terrifies his darkness. Your trial's intense force reveals your profound purpose. Chosen one, your presence in this storm is not due to divine neglect, but because you are indeed chosen. The opposition is your loudest confirmation that a promise unfolds near. Darkness prevails before dawn. The enemy's fiercest efforts surface when sensing the nearing defeat of his efforts. In this moment, the pressure you're under is not an ending, but a signal that heavenly delivery nears. Consider this introspective question. If Joseph had relinquished in prison, or David during his evasion, or if Job had forsaken faith in his despair, would their destinies manifest? The answer is no. Likewise, the present trial does not conclude your journey but represents the last trial before breakthroughs unfold. The enemy wishes for your fate to go unnoticed. Yet here lies the truth he fears you grasping. Your trial doesn't destroy you. It validates your heart, your endurance, and your love. As the storm ceases, you'll not only endure, but rise, with evidence of victory, crafted through every struggle, a testimony worth more than the fire faced. I ask you this, chosen one. When difficulty escalates, silence appears deafening, and pain seems overwhelming. Will you dare believe you're merely standing on breakthrough's threshold? For when battles heighten, it signifies an extraordinary fate awaits beyond visible sights. Chosen one, the most perilous threat isn't the raging storm outside, but the danger of resigning prematurely. Too many divine promises languish, not from divine failure but due to early concession against heavenly timing. You're standing at such a crucial juncture now. The appeal of retreat seems logical, even comfortable, yet hear this firm resolve. Giving up too soon risks aborting God's precious work being crafted in secret. Visualize a seed planted deep within the earth. Hidden under soil, it becomes unseen. Days, then weeks pass. Visible signs remain absent. Doubt murmurs. Perhaps it's dead, or barren is the soil. But beneath what eyes can't perceive, roots establish, life stirs. Unseen vitals surpass what is visible. Rushing to unearth a seed denies its destined miracle. This mirrors when frustration leads to forsake God's ongoing cultivation. Although change in a person might remain elusive, or spoken words are long suppressed, or situations appear stagnant, do not confuse this with heavenly inactivity. God, the master gardener, often performs unseen preparatory work before revealing outward fruit. Withdrawing could lead to missing life's imminent rebirth from perseverance's soil. Divine progress often cloaks itself. Silence isn't absence. Delay isn't denial, nor does confusion signal abandonment of plans. You may be on the verge of your miracle. Impatience whispers a false locked door. The door remains shut, just momentarily, not permanently. If you abandon hope now, you might be mere steps from breakthrough. Let this ponderous thought resonate. Forsaking tonight could mean forsaking a tomorrow destined for miracles, a day justified by endurance, a night blessed by prayer, a step followed by faith, that moment ordained for divine transformation. The adversary understands this fully, which is why discouragement, not destruction, is his primary weapon. Convincing you to quit early means he never needs to confront you again. He triumphs without effort. Consider past moments when giving up seemed the only option. Yet something shifted unexpectedly. How often did hope surface when persistence held the line just a moment longer? Such instances are not mere happenstance. They underscore God's rewarding of steadfastness, serving as reminders that those who protect the seed enjoy the harvest. Heed this counsel. Do not abandon what God is cultivating. The silence is not void, but an active creation. The waiting you experience isn't meant as punishment, but preparation. The discomfort arises not from failure, but signals thriving under the surface, reaching upward, ready to emerge. The enemy is frightened by this expansion. The allure of quitting seems powerful now, but you were chosen to withstand. You were selected to outlast storms, to persevere through silence, to remain resolute until the ground breaks open and reveals its fruit. Do not allow impatience to dictate the conclusion of a story God is still penning. Do not exchange a lifetime's promise for a fleeting respite. Here lies the question burning in your heart. If tomorrow held your miracle, would you truly relinquish it tonight? Chosen one, it's time to recognize the significance of this connection and the fierce battle it presents. You're now equipped to engage in active warfare, spiritual, not physical. Heaven asks you to arm yourself with eternal tools to secure success. The initial step is prayer, deliberate, unwavering, focused prayer. Not routine utterances, but heartfelt conversations with heaven, persistently seeking breakthrough. Every day, uplift that individual in prayer, speaking their name in God's presence. Pray for their mind, heart, path. Rather than replay problems, speak life over them. Offer blessings, declare clarity, and affirm healing. Transition focus from complaint to blessing, to align with heaven's perspective and silence the enemy's deceits. Secondly, resist resolving conflict with words alone. Arguments and debates cannot reinforce what God envisions. While words serve as tools, in anger they wound deeper than intended. True battles resolve not across tables but beneath bent knees where intercessions thunder spiritually. Upon seeking God, you possess authority negotiations cannot yield. The enemy trembles not from shouted exchanges but from whispered prayers. Third, learn patience in God's timing, even during quietness. Silence isn't divine absence but strategic planning. Consider the general amidst warfare. Often their next move isn't revealed until essential. Similarly, God guides silently until it's right, rearranging the unseen for success. Demanding early answers risks disrupting divine precision. Patience isn't simply a quiet virtue. It's a form of warfare, expressing trust in divine timing beyond personal understanding. Here is the revelation that should lift your spirit. You're not battling alone. Though the struggle feels heavy, the Lord stands beside you. He doesn't observe from afar but engages directly in the fight. God fights for you, with you, and ahead of you. Angels surround the faithful, and God's presence is your protector. Lifting your voice in prayer prompts heaven's response. By choosing endurance over surrender, you align with the celestial force that darkness cannot withstand. Reflect honestly. What narrative will your life convey? Will it be one of retreat, leaving the battlefield when challenges arise, surrendering to despair that steals divine gifts? Or will it recount a tale of faith, the mark of a warrior who pressed on, standing firm in isolation, believing amidst uncertainties, unlocking the divine's unimaginable blessings? Chosen one, the tools for victory are yours. Every prayer is an attack on darkness. Each blessing spoken strengthens the call for restoration, and every patient moment defies forces attempting to hasten your retreat. Every declaration of trust asserts your resolve. I will hold firm until God's promises unfold. Here's the crucial question left for only you to answer. When the battle concludes, when dust settles, when history writes its account, will it portray defeat or the triumph of a warrior who partnered with heaven and witnessed faith achieve what seemed impossible? Chosen one, heed my words. This chapter isn't your conclusion, merely a passage, and the most profound parts of your story have yet to emerge. What surrounds you now isn't an endpoint, but a passageway. What feels like silence isn't divine absence, but preparation. Though feeling on the verge of collapse, you stand on the verge of breakthrough. God honors those who remain steadfast, those who resist the pull of discouragement and hold on when everything else suggests letting go. Your persistence bears fruit. Each tear is a seed, each prayer a weapon, each moment of patience an accrued bounty. Restoration approaches, healing is underway, and purpose unfolds. Thus, I declare this as a fervent proclamation within you. Do not forsake this individual. Hold to what God has united. No earthly power, voice of darkness, or hellish scheme can separate you. Stay grounded. The promise thrives, its purpose is genuine, and your tale remains unwritten. I encourage you to perform a prophetic act. Type these words with certainty. I will not give up. Write them as a stand-made, write them as an expression, let them echo. This instills not merely a comment, but seals your resolve within the heavens. This is your moment, your decisive stance. The future anticipates it, the adversary quakes, and your testimony takes form even now. Do not relinquish. Do not relent. Hold fast. The victory shall be yours.